boys and girls, students of Buddhist Sunday School, parents, grandparents, teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dhamma classes. May you all be well and peaceful. We are going to have a presentation entitled Great Gifts to Give. Now, gifts means presents. What are the great presents to give? Now, this presentation can be used by children, students, parents, grandparents, teachers also. So a lot of the things there can be applied to all people, young and old. So let us have a look at the PowerPoint to see what are the great presents that a person can give to another person or to another group of people, right? So let us now launch the PowerPoint as usual. Now you can see the cover slide, great gifts to give. I think it is not necessary now to see my photo. So stop the video. Now here, of course, most people would think of presents as, presents given like food or toys or, clothes and so on, given during maybe Chinese New Year, your birthday, or Christmas, or maybe Valentine's Day, or other special occasions. But this is different. We are going to do something very Dhamma-based to tell you the important things that we have to practice in Dharma. Of course, when you think of presents and gifts, or you think of, these presents being wrapped up in beautiful present papers, presenting to certain people. So let us now have a look at the slides. Here you can see just some animation, right? And here you see this particular animated image of the heart is a very important thing to show us the importance of giving a gift with a good heart, right? With metta, with love. So that is the message that we are trying to convey. This is another of the front slides where you have all sorts of presents as what people would normally think of lah. When they think of presents, or they think of all those physical things, right? Play toys lah, computer parts lah, all sorts of things lah, physical things. But here we have something different, more important than the physical things, the gifts that we can give to other people. Now let's go on. Now, firstly, we are going to talk about what sort of gift you can give yourself. Now, of course, many of you say, oh, I think I give myself ice cream lah, or maybe Kentucky Fried Chicken lah, or maybe, iPad lah, or a handphone lah. So usually we think of all those material things, right? The physical things. And there's nothing really wrong with that, but we are talking about more important things. So to yourself, the most important thing you can give yourself is the Dharma, right? That is the teachings of the Buddha. Because if you can give yourself the Dhamma, which means that you learn the Dhamma, maybe at the Buddhist Sunday School, or maybe at Dhamma classes, or maybe through listening to talks, or even reading books and so on, especially maybe, parents or teachers, right? So that's the greatest gift. Because why? Because the Dharma is the gift that you will take with you on and on. When you grow up, And if you have the Dhamma can still help you to be more happy, more peaceful, how to solve your problems. So that is the greatest gift, isn't it? And then in relation to this, in Dhamma teachings, a very important thing is to be mindful. So if you give yourself mindfulness, which means that you make the resolution or say, I must be more mindful. I'll give myself this gift by practicing. After learning the Dhamma, I practice that I must always remember important things that I learned, right, in the Dhamma. And also, I must know what I'm doing. My mind must be alert, heedful, sharp, attentive. That is a fantastic gift, isn't it? And this one you need to cultivate. You cannot say, you give me mindfulness. Nobody can just give you mindfulness if you yourself do not practice, right? Put in the effort, be diligent to always know what is happening, to watch your mind. So that is a fantastic gift you can give to yourself. And if one becomes very mindful, a lot of benefits can come. Not only just your memory improves, but you make less mistakes. Your mind becomes more sharp and you are very aware and attentive. Your learning power goes up. So it's a very important thing to be mindful. Mindfulness, knowing what is happening all the time, physically, as well as in the mind, right? But many people nowadays, even the young ones, are very forgetful already. So this is the gift to yourself. Now, then what about to your mother? Now, some people say, oh, I think a great gift or the greatest gift I can give my mother is maybe an oven or maybe a beautiful dress. There's nothing wrong with giving your mother these sort of things, especially on her birthday, give her a birthday cake and so on. But we are talking of even more important things, and that is your love and gratitude. The love here, highest is the Metta, to give the Metta, right, which translates as goodwill. Loving kindness is the best translation. To give loving kindness, always to send loving kindness to your mother, to have love for your mother, right? Metta for your mother. So that is the greatest gift. And this gift is not only just given on a special day like Mother's Day. And so Mother's Day, you can give the usual present or or her birthday. This is a gift that you give always, isn't it, to your mother. Now, Metta is sent to her every day by what you speak, what you do, what you think. Like you have practiced Metta Bhavana, which is the meditation on loving kindness, and you can send the Metta to your mother every day, isn't it? And then the other thing, very important, is gratitude, right? To your mother, to show the gratitude. The gratitude, of course, is what we call kan en. Also related here, you can say the other word of pu en. So this kan en or gratitude is a very important thing to practice. A person who has gratitude is a person who has good qualities, good character. Then he practices gratitude. Later on, you see the gratitude actually is given to so many people, father, your mother, your family members, your teachers as well. But here we now talk about the gift. A great gift you can give your mother is gratitude. So when you show the gratitude, your mother, of course, is very, very happy, isn't it? And you are also improving in your mind, right? In your Dharma. And by showing gratitude, you cannot just say, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. You don't have the real heart, actually, right? You don't really mean it. You have to express it. Express it as possible. I'm grateful to my mother for all that she has done for me, right? From the time she was carrying me in her womb, and also, she brought me up, all the years of pain and suffering, not easy. So I must show gratitude. So how do I do it? Right? So I must not cause her all the pain and all the hardship. Some children now, give their mothers a lot of headache. Right? I think I gave you one story called No Shoes. So you show in various ways, like for example, your speech, right? Expressing your gratitude. And then also by your actions, very important. You are grateful to your mother, so you are very helpful. You help her in the housework, right? And then you sometimes also help her to run errands, to maybe tend to the garden. Many things that you can do just as acts of gratitude, right? So that is to your mother. Now, let us look at the next one. To your father now, right? To your father. Now, your father and your mother, right? In Buddhism, we regard the father and the mother as the gods, That's why, it's a very, very important thing, to have whom, right? Some people, they follow certain religions, and then I know they sort of go off the path really. They don't follow the Dharma because that religion tells them that, most important you must pay attention, and the greatest love and all these things you must show to one God up in heaven. And some even leave their parents, just because they believe what the other religions are. The other religion have some religions like that. And because they say that that is the one that we must show the greatest love. But in Buddhism, very important is we have the great love for the parents. The parents are the gods, right? And here again, metta is also involved to your father, right? The father and mother, as I say, are like heavenly gods, divine gods. They have given you so much. A father going out to work, to struggle, to earn the living. Have you ever thought of that? Isn't it? Right? And therefore, you must show what we call the the filial piety. Like, your father asks you to do certain errands or things like that to help in certain things. Some children, they don't do that, They are not obedient. Say, Papa, don't want, I want to play my game on my handphone. So, Papa asks the child, can you just try to, sweep the porch or maybe pick the weeds in the garden? No, I don't like to do that. So, you see, no act of gratitude, no act of whom will earn, isn't it? So when we think of what the Father has done for you, then also you must make sure that you express the gratitude to the parent, to the father. The father asks you, you go to, just a nearby place to bring something. So many things. Right? Or your father sometimes asks you, can you please go upstairs to bring this thing, my suitcase or my briefcase, and so on. Some of them don't bother. And I'm watching TV, father, I'm watching. Don't ask me now. You go and take your own. Oh, so terrible children like this. Right? So we give a great gift to the father by metta and whom will earn. The filial piety, And this, it doesn't happen just on one occasion, It's always, until your father or your mother, when they grow old already and they pass away and you have grown up to be an adult, you still have this great gift for your parents. And that is metta and filial piety. But today it's very sad to say you have so many, children that have grown up into adult, they just chuck their parents are into the old folks home, right? And then some don't even go and see them, Wow, that is terrible. So next time, When you become a parent, you become a father or a mother, how will you feel if your children treat you like this? Isn't it? So when you think of this sort of thing, then you know that, oh, I must practice the Dhamma. These are all in the Dhamma teachings, right? Gratitude to parents, So then you will change your character and you will find wonderful things happening to you. Of course, your parents will love you even more and more, isn't it? Right? And also, other people will know, oh, this child is fantastic. Character is so good and so on. And you later on, with that good character, you become successful in life. And of course, you will attain the peace and happiness. These two, happiness, peace, and then the success in whatever you do in life, right? Your studies and so on. So that, if you express or you do these things, give the great gift, you won't regret later on in life. Later on in life, when let's say, the old father or old mother has passed away. So this son, wow, he would feel guilty really because he did not treat the parents well. Guilty conscience, remorse, too late already. Regret, isn't it? Then what about to your grandparents? Some of you have your grandfather or grandmother staying with you. Some do not. The grandparents stay elsewhere. Now, when people grow old, certain things happen, right? They are not so strong already, right? And some have problems walking already. Some have problems in seeing, right? So this is quite natural. Next time when you grow old, you'll be like that also. Everybody goes through the same thing. So what can you do to your grandparents? And this is what we have written. The great gift, you can say one of the greatest gifts, or even you can say the best gift you can give your parents is care and patience. Right? Some people say, I give my grandfather the ice cream lah. I give my grandmother the Kentucky lah. Now those things are okay. Like for example, certain times, right, you want to buy the things for your grandfather, grandmother to eat. That is also good. But we are talking of things which are even more important and which must be practiced constantly or always. That's why we say they are even more important because you practice those things always, not just on your grandfather's birthday or your grandmother's birthday. Then only you buy a present. That is okay, that is good. But this is something even more important. And sometimes you can say, yeah, even more challenging to practice, isn't it? And then old people, sometimes you may be like that when you grow old, right? So they like to grumble. Sometimes maybe they complain over certain things. Hey, why are you like that? Don't do like that. And they keep on repeating the same thing, isn't it? That is due to maybe, something happening in the mind when we grow old. Sometimes old people, they repeat the same thing many times. Then you get very angry and they say, "Wo come chong hei lah," and things like that. And then you start even scolding, that's even worse, But next time when you grow old, what happens? So you have to understand when your aging takes place, certain things happen. So then you begin to be patient. You say, oh, right, actually, this is a natural thing. When people grow old, things are not the same already. So my grandparents, when they were younger, right? So they also help to look after me, and they have shown so much love, everything to me patiently. Some of you probably were taken care of by your grandparents when you were very young, right? And it's not easy to be taken care of, right? Of a person to take care of the young babies and so on. And then now they are already, you have become older already. Now maybe you are in the primary school or secondary school or even the university, right? You must think of that also, the gratitude. So therefore you have care. That's why I see some children, they have very good qualities of caring, wow, they will, when they go out, when these children go out with the grandparents, they will hold on to their hands, right? And then, cross the road and so on. I was quite old already, actually. So I remember one of the children, very few, right, that had gone out with on some trips, together with the mother and another 1 or 2 youths. And this boy really impressed me in this respect because he was so caring, right? So whenever, we had to climb the stairs, he would come and hold my hand and say, brother, you are old already, but quite wise. Wow, you quite witty also. You're quite old already, right? So you need some help. So he will help, so caring. You will help me as I go up the stairs. Wow, I tell you, really very touching. Very rare, right? Where you have children like this. So that is a very good quality. You can develop it of metta and compassion and being caring. Wow, next time you grow up with great spiritual qualities and you will get all the benefits, right? And then also patience. Some have no patience with the old people, right? Like say, you are eating out with your parents, grandparents, and you, of course, you are young, right? So you finish your food very fast. And you find, wow, your grandfather, grandmother so slow, Wow, you lose your patience. Fight it lah, come on lah, why so slow? And then you complain, right? So you have to reflect and think. There's an interesting story about, what happened was actually involved the adults already. So this man with the wife staying with the old man, that means the man's father, the man's father, and also staying with the child. And that child, of course, is the grandson of the old man. So, actually it was the wife of the man who was not happy, with the old father, every time so slow, eating also, the food drops out and things like that. And then every day sitting, cannot do much work already. But never thought of the times when the old man was younger and could help and even help to bring out the young boy. So, the wife, chuchok the husband, to say, get rid of the old man. I try to kill him, right? Because he's a burden to us, And so the man, after being brainwashed or, being nagged by the wife, so one day, plan to kill. And somehow or other, the boy came to know of it, that this man would fetch the old man, right, to a countryside there, and then try to kill him off and then bury him. So it was in the rural area probably. So then because when the thing was being plotted by the man and the wife, so the little boy heard it, right? So the little boy, he said, they're doing that. So he thought of a plan to prevent that. So what happened was, so when the day came, so this man asked the old man, that means his father, right, to go onto the cart, right, and then he say he will bring him for a ride and so on, all the bluffing. But then the young boy, he smuggled into the cart, probably at the back there were some grass or some other things or what. Somehow or other, he managed to hide at the back of the cart or what. There were some, maybe loads of things or cars. So when he reached the place, and then the old man came out already. So you know what the man did? That means the father of this young boy, he started to take out his spade and to dig a hole, because after killing the father already, the old man, then he will bury him. Wow, this boy, then he saw it, then he jumped out from the cart, right? And then, right? Then the father saw him already, say, you go and play somewhere nearby, right? So then the boy just went a distance away, but the father could still see him, And then he used his hands or something like that, and start digging also, So the father was digging with the spade for the hole, to make a hole, and he was digging with the spade. The father said, hey, what are you doing? Then he asked, father, what are you doing? Then he said, I'm actually, then the father said, oh, I'm just preparing the whole, your grandfather old already, he would die, then I'll bury him. Then the little boy said, I'm also preparing the whole, so that next time when you get old, I will bury you, and you can be in this hole inside. Wow, the father, when he heard it, he realized straight away the terrible thing he had thought. So he discarded or threw away all the plan to kill the old man and say, come, let's all go home, everything. And then he scolded the wife and told all the things that happened, and they all changed already. Because what you do, next time people can do to you, your children can do to you also. Very good story, isn't it? So we must have patience and care. It's just a story. To your teacher, we must show wise appreciation. We must have appreciation and wise obedience. Now, today you find many students, they are rebellious, right? They do not want to follow, isn't it? In class, they talk, they play the fool, they don't want to listen to the teachers. So that is something that is not good, isn't it? Right? So when the teacher teaches, we have to pay attention, isn't it? And when the teacher gives instructions and so on, he's trying to educate you, isn't it? Then we must obey. Unless the teacher is a terrible one, telling you nonsense things. Some teachers, maybe some of them, they ask you, they teach funny things. They ask you to obey certain things which you know not true. They say, what you have to do is to follow this particular religion, where you don't eat certain things, or you must become a vegetarian one, otherwise you don't go to heaven, which actually is not in the Dhamma. If you yourself want to become a vegetarian, it's okay. But you are being brainwashed, Oh, you must not eat this food. You must do this every day. You must go and do the chanting here 1,000 times. They try to brainwash you with all those things. Then, of course, you don't follow and you don't obey. You have to use your wisdom and maybe later on consult your parents. Then you know. But generally, okay, the teachers teach many important good things, moral education, ethics, right? How to develop character. Then you must follow and obey all the instructions, isn't it? So the teachers also have done. We have good teachers, of course. They have done a lot. Great teachers. I had many, many good teachers. I'm quite grateful to them for the many good things they have taught me, right? In school, primary, secondary. So then I say, now I have also to show the appreciation to the people, right, that I interact with now. And also now I must teach what the teachers taught me in good moral education. So that's why now I'm also teaching the moral education and the Dhamma. It's an act of appreciation for what I have received also, isn't it? So then, of course, you can give gifts to teachers during Teachers' Day. That is okay. That is also a good act to show the appreciation, right? Happy Teachers' Day, things like that. But more important is following what the teachers teach, being obedient, being of good character, politeness, courtesy, all those things then the teacher will be happy, Wow, these students they have all these good qualities. And not just on Teachers' Day, give a present, hoping that the teacher will give you more marks in your test. Then after that, you behave like a lousy student, So that is not being a good student, right? That is not giving a gift to the teacher. You give a headache to the teacher, isn't it? With your terrible character. So instead of giving gifts to the teacher, that what I mean is the great gifts, you give headaches. So great gifts will be wise obedience, appreciation, following good instructions, good like developing the character and so on. So this is then to every child, education and a good example. Now, of course, this can be applied, for example, to the adults, right? The parents, the grandparents, the teachers. So what sort of gifts can give the child? Now, some fathers and mothers, they don't understand. They thought the very great gifts is always to give the children all the material things only, right? Like for example, wow, I'll give them the new handphone and then take them for tours Not to say you can't do that once in a while but it's overdoing it already, and these children become spoiled children already, right? Pampered, always wanting all the expensive material things. So those are not the best gifts or the great gifts to give the children. When we are talking about the parents, they should be giving the good education, right? Take time. Don't just depend on the school. The adults also must take time to educate and then be good examples. Right? If you don't, a good example, like, oh, you must do like this, but the parents or the teachers also don't do, then how can that be a gift? You don't set the example, isn't it? So to every child, education and a good example. But what about you, right? Let us say you are a secondary student, or maybe you are in standard 6 or standard 5. That also can be applied. That means that if you come across younger children, maybe kindergarten children, or maybe even your younger brothers or younger sisters, then you can also give the best gifts or very great gifts by teaching, isn't it? I have seen even standard 6 and form 1 students teaching some younger ones simple singing, right? Or telling stories even, So that also will be fantastic gifts you can give. And then more important thing is also setting the good example. You are maybe in standard 6 or standard 5, then you have the little children in standard 1, standard 2, looking at you, and you are behaving so terribly and are being scolded by the teachers. Then the younger one will say, yeah, this one like that one. So that is also not correct. So this also can be applied to the younger ones to show good examples and also to help to teach the good things that you have learned. Apply to primary or maybe the secondary or even the college students. To your friend. Everybody has friends, isn't it? Right? But then it's not easy to get good friends. And to have to have a good friend, you must also be a good friend yourself. So good friends. I think I have talked about this before, the various good qualities of a good friend. But you want to be a friend, a good friend to another one whom you also have chosen to be a good friend, you must have understanding, compassion, metta. These are open heart, right? Being very caring, right? Always helpful. When your friend is in need, you are willing to help so spontaneously, automatic, right? And you understand him. Sometimes he's poor, and then you see, his clothes are not so good. You don't look down, isn't it? You have understanding. That is a gift. So when you can have this display of good qualities like being very understanding, very loving and kind, right? Always helping to a friend, of course your friend will value you. People will say, wow, this person is fantastic. He's a very good friend. So a lot of benefits come. So to your friend, what is a great gift you can give? Understanding and an open heart, which means of metta, right? With loving kindness and compassion. That is the great gift. Of course, you can give your friend some presents sometimes during his birthday or maybe Chinese New Year or whatever. That one is okay. But this one is always one, right? Not just giving on occasion only. So that is the great gift. Then what about to your opponent? Now the word opponent means somebody who opposes you, who does not agree with you, who has a different opinion. Or your opponent, maybe let's say in a game, you are playing ping pong or badminton, so you have an opponent. You must have also positive thoughts. Don't be jealous don't have this ill will anger. Say, yo, this terrible player, I will beat him. I hope that he do. All these are not good qualities. All right. You are facing him in a match, a competition. Your opponent's in the competition. Then you also respect and tolerance. Now you say, yo, this fellow is, like that one. Now mine is okay. I hope he learns. You tolerate, you don't have ill will. So you respect. You see, even though He has a different opinion, a different view, but I will respect his view and his opinion, even though I don't agree with them. So that is a very good attitude. So that is a great gift. So when your opponent sees this, wow, he respects me, even though he doesn't agree with what I say, he's still very polite, well-mannered, and he doesn't like retaliate or scold back or things like that, no. Then also your opponent respects you, right? Because maybe sometimes he scolds you, right? He say, you lousy, you cannot win this. You don't answer back on, you don't, you say, I'm sorry, if you think I'm like that, it's okay. Wow, this one very good. He doesn't retaliate or he doesn't answer back or things like that. He respects me also. So that is a good thing. Then to your enemy. I think many Buddhists have enemies, which actually is not good. If you practice your Dhamma well, the time will come that you don't have enemies. You have compassion and all are your friends. But anyway, there are some people you don't like. There's some people you bear ill will, right? Or even jealousy or anger and things like that. So you must practice, very important actually, kindness. And this actually is a metta, a metta loving kindness. You have the metta that is very good, right? Then also you have this forgiving attitude in your heart. You say, I forgive him. You don't like the person because you say, yeah, his words are terrible one, or he does certain thing to me which I don't like. Then you don't feel the negative things, but you say, I forgive him, because everybody makes mistakes. I also have my weaknesses, you think, isn't it? I also make mistakes. So what about the other person who views it? So if he is very, very angry, it's not good, isn't it? But if he forgives me and I improve, then it is good. So likewise also, I must be always forgiving towards another person. So this way, you are giving a very great gift of kindness and forgiveness. Then this is a very important thing. It concerns dana. Dana is charity, generosity, right? Giving, right? A very important practice in all religions actually. And in Buddhism, we know, we call it dana, right? That is generosity, giving or helping, rendering service to others, to give a helping hand. So now, especially now, times are so hard with this COVID-19, all those, there's so many people without food, without jobs, and some also have no homes to stay because they cannot afford to pay the rents, So we think of ways where we can help if you're very lucky, some donation, right? Or, there are many ways. You cannot go out also now, or even you ask your parents, they want to donate a few dollars. You all know how to use the internet by interbank transfer to this society or this orphanage, they are appealing for help. Wow, your parents say, well, you all can think of others are very good. So your parents also will donate, isn't it? So to all people in need, very important charity and helping hand. Of course, in those times where you don't have this pandemic, you can it's easier to go out. We help the unfortunate ones. So even in the PBHP, I found people are helping to water the plants, to sweep the floor, right? So there are many things you can do, right? And there is a lot you can do to help the poor ones. Especially when you visit the old folks home or maybe the rumah kanak cacat right, orphanage and so on. So these people are in need, right? In need of maybe some material help, food, or maybe some donation, or maybe for the need of some maybe very kind thoughts, or maybe singing for them, like the rumah kanak cacat and so on. So many ways, but always remember to give with a loving heart, right? And not to get name, right? With a very good heart of metta and compassion. Then to all the suffering ones, I think there are so many suffering ones. Just now I give you the example in these pandemic times. But even all the time also there is much suffering. Like look at this picture, probably in India or probably, but in Africa also it's terrible. You can get this situation where the children have no food to eat, right? and they have to dig the earth to find some food, or some of them have also eaten their clothes, Right? So terrible, the situation. So when you know of any way, sometimes they have international bodies, they ask for help, and we can, of course, you give according to your means. It's your heart that matters, isn't it? So you say, oh, I think I'll give $5. You ask your parents or somebody to help you to do that. Wow, fantastic, isn't it? And then this one is a very touching photo to illustrate the point. This is Mother Teresa from the Catholic religion. Fantastic. She got the Nobel Prize for Peace, because she devoted her life out of compassion and love for the suffering ones in India. Orphans or mothers who have lost husband already, and then poverty, and they suffer from all types of sicknesses, diseases. Fantastic, isn't it? So when you look at this picture, then you see to all suffering ones, love and compassion. That is the greatest gift you can give, the love and compassion. All right, and through that, you know ways because you have love and compassion. To all animals, I think some people, they treat the animals very badly. I've seen people who kick the dogs, who put boiling water on the dogs on the roads, right? Who torture the animals also. Terrible. Sometimes I see the dogs just running around, limping. One leg cannot use already. Probably some cruel people, unkind people have done this to the animal. And it is not a good act, right? We have to practice metta, not only to human beings, to all beings, right? The spirits, right? The gods, and also the animals, isn't it? You can do it in various ways. I've seen some people very kind, they go and feed the animals who have no food to eat. And then at home, let's say you have pets, and that's a good thing also, right? Like you can see the animation here. This little girl has great metta for her puppy or her dog. The heart shows the metta. So that is a great gift. Of course, you do give food to the one because you have love, isn't it? So the metta would propel you to do good actions like taking good care of your pets, giving the food and so on. So the greatest gift which you practice all the while to all the animals is the loving kindness to our planet Earth. Now you can see the animation of our planet rotating and then going around the sun, and it rotates. Now today, sad to say, so many people harm the Earth. They may harm the environment, right? They throw rubbish into the rivers, they simply chop down trees, and then the people who go and disturb some of the mountains for building things without great care. So now you can see so much of suffering of the floods, landslides, and then also maybe other catastrophes. Maybe you have even certain earthquakes also, maybe connected with non-protection of the earth. And then also the climate now changing already, isn't it? So hot already. Why? Because people have not been kind and they have not taken steps to protect. So you on your part, in fact, for all people, students, adults, and so on, we must make sure we don't harm the environment. But today you see so many people harming the environment. Wow, burn a lot of those rubbish. And then the worst thing, burn a lot of paper things to please the gods in the heaven. Wow, sometimes you see the joysticks or the papers are burning for days. This is harming the environment. This is polluting. So a lot of things people do. And then they throw rubbish into the rivers, into the drains that get clogged up very later on. So all these things will have the ill effects. And then you say, how come God never protects us? It's that we, due to our foolishness, our selfishness, our greed, right? Our lack of mindfulness, doing all the wrong things. So the greatest gift you can give Mother Earth, our planet, our environment, is to protect it, not to cause it harm. It's a very, very fantastic gift, isn't it? Then to all people, we must have politeness and metta. But nowadays, you'll be surprised, So many people don't have this basic thing of politeness, courtesy. Like for example, I experienced this. Sometimes I send, very good Dhamma messages, all right, or sometimes a virtual book. I give the gifts to the people. Majority don't even acknowledge it, right? I don't get angry. Why should I get angry on this? Why should I let other people's wrong action disturb my peace? But I'm just trying to teach, to educate, you see. So they don't even acknowledge. So later on, sometimes I will meet them in the association, maybe 1 year later. I say, hey, by the way, I send you this and you, yeah lah, receive lah. They will just tell you like that. So from here, you can see many people lack even basic courtesy and politeness that you need to reply. I was taught by my teachers, when people send you something, when people write to you, you have to reply. I wish I do. Emails or WhatsApp message, I will acknowledge, isn't it? So today, this is very, very lacking, sad to say. And it happens all over. Even the adults also, because they are maybe 30 years old and so on, they have become victims of an education system that is really declining. Those days, in the 60s and 70s, we emphasized a lot on this. No moral education except, but we were taught all these things, So today, you see, I go to the post office, right, and then I will wish the person on counter selamat pagi. The person will look at you blankly, no response. Then after tending to your matter, right, or maybe you send something, registered mail or whatever lah. And then I'll say, terima kasih. They will look at you blindly in the room border. See, that is a sad state of affairs already, right? So if all people around you practice the politeness, the courtesy, what you should do, and when you radiate the metta, then you'll be a very special person, right? You will be one of those rare ones. That's why the Buddha in the scripture said, two types of people are very difficult to find. It is in Anguttara Nikaya, the book of tools. That's what the Buddha said. He could see that already. Two types of people very difficult to find. The first one is people with a very good heart, very spontaneously. Don't have to even ask them. They will do the good things. No, they see something that needs to be done to help people and so on. They go and do it already. Very, very good heart. No need to call on. But today you find very difficult. It's very true. Very difficult to find people spontaneously coming out to help. That's why very difficult to get volunteers. You see, Sunday school also difficult to get volunteers. Right? Well, now library also you find cannot even. PBHP library last time when I was in charge, so we could get 60 people to run the library. Now we could not even get one. So the Buddha says is very true. And the second thing is very difficult to find a person who is grateful, who cannot practice gratitude. And very true. I've realized this also. Helping and so on. I don't expect anything, but just to teach the other people. Right? Like I've stood guarantor people who apply for scholarship, everything, all this. And they don't bother to acknowledge any query or things like that. And worst thing, they don't pay back. They don't pay back. So I got letters from the authorities, the awarding bodies. Say that, oh, this person whom you act as a guarantor, so he's chabut already, never pay. So you have to pay back. You have that. They can stab you at the back also. So this is what we call no gratitude. Right? I don't get angry over these things. But I have to point out these things as education for the other people. This one is very, very important to the Buddha. So what is the best gift they can give? Many people have the wrong idea. They thought, the best gift I can give the Buddha is every time I go and pray, then I offer the oranges, apples, and the fruits, and I make sure I also give the flowers. This is the gift. Those are not the most important things. Right? Is it the scripture the Buddha had also mentioned already? To show the gratitude to the Buddha, right? The best thing is you practice his teachings. That is the best gift. That is the best form of gratitude if you can practice the Buddha's teachings, which is the Dhamma. So when you reflect on this, I've got it all wrong already. I thought the gift to the Buddha is we Sunday go and bathe the image law, right? And then new moon, full moon, go and give all the fruits law, offer law, and then do the chanting law, all those things, the gift. These are not the most important things. Well, you can do that if it makes you happy and peaceful as one of the devotional practice. But the best and most important grateful action you can show, or you can say the gift, right? You are grateful to that is to practice the Dhamma. And you practice the Dhamma if you know how to. So which means that you can learn the Dhamma. That's why we come back to the first one. The great gift you can give yourself is the Dhamma, isn't it? So you yourself have to learn how to, practice the Dhamma. When we learn the teachings, what the Dhamma is, like for example, basic thing, we must always practice the 5 precepts, isn't it? And then San Kui, taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, what it means. How do we do it? And not just learning a thing like a school subject to get A in the subject. Some people may be very good in theory, get A in the Buddhist exam, but the character also is terrible also. Just learning just like a school subject, it's not the way, isn't it? So now remember to the Buddha, the practice of Dharma is the best gift. Right? So now we have come to the end of this presentation. So I'm going to sum up. So let's go to the final slide. Right. So now this is the final slide. And you can see here the very important message, sharing the Dhamma to help people to grow in wisdom and compassion is the gift of all gifts. It is stated there in the Buddhist religion that the greatest gift is the gift of the Dhamma. The gift of the Dhamma excels or surpasses all other gifts. Why? Some people say, oh, the greatest gift is to have the money, the property. No, it's the Dhamma. It's the greatest gift. Because the Dhamma not only helps the person to develop the mind so that he can solve his problems better, and not only that, this gift of the Dhamma goes on and on, right? It doesn't stop. It's already in your mind, already the Dhamma practice and realization. So you carry with you in your mind until you old, until you pass away, until we pass away, then it goes to the next life. So it's you. So that's why the Dhamma is the greatest gift. Whereas other things are so important. Now you give dana, the fellow has no food to eat. But after that, you have to give again, isn't it? I mean, it's a good thing. But he's talking about the greatest gift. So it's the gift of the Dhamma. So we hope you realize this already. So when you follow, this applies to all, young and old. So when you know already, right, that the greatest gift is the Dhamma, then you will be motivated to firstly learn and practice the Dhamma yourself, and then to share the Dhamma. To share the Dhamma not for money, or not for fame or power or name and all those things, but actually with a sincere heart to help people to grow in their wisdom and compassion. That means the mind development until they get enlightened, right? And they can become arahants, right? Or even the Buddha become, so that is reaching Nibbana. So that is the greatest gift, isn't it? To help people to end the dukkha, the suffering, other than the usual things of dana, food, money, and all those things. We are talking about the greatest gift, right? So I hope this presentation, right, has been useful to all of you, right, young and old. And you want to share the Dhamma, that is very good, because now you are applying what you learn, right? Which means that you want to help other people also. Or maybe you say, now I have not learned enough, I cannot go and teach the Dhamma. Now, but you come across certain things which you find meaningful, useful, and they can be of benefit to many people, then you share the Dhamma. Some of them very easily. I know I have friends on my Facebook and so on. They do share the Dhamma. That means they're very easy only. They just send the presentation in the form of the video on YouTube, or maybe the PowerPoint and my slide share. So many easy ways. Or sometimes they just tell their friends, oh, you go to this link, you can get a very useful talk. That if you do it not because of money, not because of name, all right, or status or things like that, then that is a very, very good meritorious action. So you are practicing this, right? And sharing the Dhamma, right? That the Dhamma excels all other gifts, the gift of Dhamma, isn't it? So before we say sadhu, I would like to thank, right, all of you, students, upper secondary, college, universities, and also all the parents and grandparents who are watching this presentation, together with the teachers of the Sunday school and Dhamma classes. I hope I have shared some very important Dhamma points, all right? And I would like to thank you for taking time and also putting in the effort, to be patient to listen to almost 1 hour of this presentation. So I'd like to say thank you and sadhu for your patience and endurance, right? So to end, let us say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you all be well, healthy, and peaceful. Take care.